Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome to what is a brand new series of Transport Fever 2, where we will be building our very own transportation company in the Netherlands. Guys, I've done United Kingdom, I've done America, I've done Australia, and most recently I did India, and today we are in the Netherlands. This is looking kind of crazy right now. It is Netherlands in the 2000s, so you still got some of the reclaimed lands and stuff like that. But the year is 1850 in the game. All the towns are nice and small, but it does include a little bit of Belgium down here. You can see, where is it? Brussels is over here. And it does include a little bit of Germany as well. You can see Dusseldorf and the other places. Where is it? Hold on. Where I don't know how far it goes over in Germany right now, but this is going to be an interesting series. Now, there's a lot of industry. It's a mega size map, so we have so much space. But I feel like the emphasis in the Netherlands right now in building a transportation company is going to be all around public transport. So I want to treat this a little bit different to how I've done my previous series in the past. I've got 5 million in the bank right now. And I think from that money, it is a loan. Yes, I am correct. It is a loan right now. Forget the 28 billion loss right now. That's just from making the map. And this is going to be quite interesting. Now, if you guys do enjoy this and want to see more of my Transport Fever 2 Netherlands series, then make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when episode 2 does drop. Guys, you're going to want to subscribe right now to be notified and smash the like button down below, guys. Also, leave a comment saying thank you for play some more and we'll do just that. So my goal first then would obviously be to make some money. But you can see what's kind of cool about this right now. You've got a lot of places. Now, I'm going to throw it out there from the get-go. I'm not the best at pronouncing town names in general. So if I do get some of these towns in the Netherlands wrong, just let me know how I pronounce them. But I know the normal ones, guys, the famous ones like Rotterdam, Amsterdam right now, which weirdly there's no canals around it. I can see Haarlem, Zandvoort over there. What else do I know? What else do I know, boys? Where's I've only been to one place in the Netherlands, and that is Eindhoven, if that's how you pronounce it. Is it in the game? I'm trying to figure out my bearings right now of where I am. It's a little bit difficult to figure out where I am and where I'm not. Oh, there it is. Eindhoven's just over there. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I've actually flown there on a plane before. And then got in a car and went all the way to Cologne in Germany, which is Cologne in the game? Again, I'm really not clued up on my geography in this area. But this could be interesting. Anyway, guys, I'm yapping right now. I'm yapping. So I feel like in this series then, it's all about the public transport. We will do a lot of industry, and we need to do a lot of industry to kind of grow a lot of the towns. But it's going to be all about creating rural and linkage of big city routes up. It's going to be really, really exciting to see how far we can currently grow it. Now, before we go anywhere and do anything right now, the biggest city in the game is actually Haarlem. I'm not sure where Amsterdam currently ranks on this, but expect things to change, okay, once I press play. Now, before I press play, we need to first start making, right, some money. So I think what will be a good idea is to set up a couple of cargo routes that would really, really help us out in earning some sweet cash money moolah. Now, straight away, I can see there's a little food factory just here. We can bring some farms over to it. There's a bunch of farms over here. If you kind of get out a little bit more now, there's kind of big farm areas and woodland areas over here as well. There's a couple of oil bits. What about into the North Sea? Is there anything over here right now? I don't think there's anything in the sea over here that leads eventually to the UK. We've got the big dams coming in and all the little islands. Oh, this is going to be exciting. This is going to be really, really exciting right now. So, let's start then with making a little bit of cash. Now, do we think vehicles are the way to go forward to begin with? Or do you think I should risk it for the biscuit and start with trains? Now, if I was to start with trains, I think I would want to start with food. There's a food area here. There's a food area over there and there. There's a food area down here and down here as well. I reckon we should start maybe with food, but I'm trying to think where would be the best way to kind of run it. Now, I could run a line from there all the way down to here, only if, okay, I've got enough money. But then again, here to here might be a better option because of how short it is. And again, it all comes down to money in the bank. So I reckon we start here then, boys. This will be my first beginnings of just earning some money so I can start paying for big expansions. So I'll go quite big on this. And, oh, it's quite a distance that is over there, isn't it? So we've got to be a little bit careful. How much would it cost me for a multitude of stations? Okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but I'm thinking that we kind of try and centralize this a little bit more. And then we'll bring roads leading over to it. So 1.5 million. Am I putting all my eggs into one basket right now with building something like this? I think I might be. So I'm going to stick, for now, until I upgrade it, with the 2 lines. Right, coming right in into here, we'll spin this right round and just get this nicely aligned. Pull it about there to begin with. We should all be good. Right, let's edit these 2 stations then. And we just need to place in some some cargo buildings. So I just need a main building like that. And all I need to do, because I'm trying to keep it as cheap as I can possibly get it, is then link the roads. There we go. And then bring a road. That's not the way to do it, boys. Ooh, should I do it with a dirt road? It might be cheaper with a dirt road. Link it like that, and then just kind of come off like that. Now, does that touch all 4 of them? It does. That's exactly what I need it to do. And then if I just come from here to there. So at this moment in time, it's not about creating good systems, good setups. It's just a simple back and forth run for cargo that will start generating me money so I can then start work in, a specific area around the map. Right, do I have the funds right now to be able to build an extensive train line? So if I bring this coming all the way down right now, there's a few little bumps, but nothing too crazy. And then we've kind of got to come down into a little bit of a bend. Now, if I went straight like that, I can maintain a 120 speed, which is all good. And that's not too expensive. Do you know what? It's actually not that expensive. I might be able to do my back and forth run straight away. So if I just kind of bring this right round and in, and what I'll do is, because we can maybe get multiple trains on the go, I'm going to do a crisscross just here. So a signature of my series when it comes to Transport Fever 2. Just a simple line, back set up, perfect. Right. Can we do signals? Do I have the... Yes, I do have the auto sig mod installed. And we will put you just there. And if I bring this further down and place you there, does the auto signal work? Yes. Right. So if I then drop you in there and bring you to there, I've got my auto signals all placed in. There's one that seems to be a little bit more over than the others, which is okay. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to do another set just here, just for the sake of allowing the train to kind of pass through. Right, simple back and forth right now, isn't it? And all it's going to do, and what's cool about this is, it picks up the grain from here and then drops it at the food processing plants there. And then in return, it picks up the grain here and brings it back to the food processing plants just there. So ultimately what that does is, it means the train makes money going both directions. That is what that particularly means, which is pretty good. So if I then just drop you down, and then we just connect you up real quick, and we just bring this coming down here. So that train station does connect to both. Ooh, are we going to be okay with doing this one here? Let me first just get these connected. we might be a little bit too far back for this. I didn't realize how far back I was kind of pushing this. But if I do a diagonal just to... Actually, before I do a diagonal, let me just bring this across there. And did that like that. Does that touch all 4? No, it doesn't. Right, what we have to do is we're going to have to kind of not trick the game, but kind of extend the station a bit. Well, I say the station, it's the building for it. And is that enough to touch them all? Not quite this one here. So if I do a diagonal, will that allow me to get access to it? No. Right. A little bit of magic is now involved. We're going to get the platforms and extend this platform down. So technically, yes, I've already made a boo-boo, but it's okay. We will get there in the end. And that is enough now to touch that. Right, a little bit touch and go there, boys. Oh, no, don't delete all that. But we should be now all good. So, a simple route, going back and forth, will make me money so I can then focus on building in the Netherlands. So I want these to go back and forth, and what I want them to do is utilize both sides of the station. They'll utilize the crisscross. Oh, I didn't set that up right, did I? There we go. Utilize both side stations so they're able to load and unload on both platforms if there's a train already on one side. It makes life easier for me. And we'll give it a name as well. Let's try and kind of keep on top of naming stuff. So this is Emmen to Winscotten. I'm going to call it the Emmen. The Emmen grain. The Emmen grain line is what we're going to call it. And we'll change the color of it to like the color of grain in that kind of way. And then, again, to make it super easy, I'm going to drop a train depot right there. Right, let's buy our first train for this then. So this is where the rest of my money is going to get spent. It looks like I've got quite a bit of cash at the moment, but it will disappear quite quick. So I've only got the ability to pick Steam because we are currently in the year 1850, okay? So I got to spend my money wisely because this is the heart of the line, these engines. So I could push it as far as, let me see, they all do the same top speed apart from the Russian class. The two slower ones have better power, but the tractive power is better on the Russian class. Guys, I think we might have to buy a Russian train here just for the sake of being able to be a bit more powerful, but also be able to reach a higher top speed. But the top speed doesn't mean anything because the top speed is only as fast as its slowest kind of compartment, which for us will be the gondolas here carrying the grain. Now they can go 50, which is good. And looking at these right now, it's these two. They do 50. Okay, sweet. So if I go Steam and if I go for the Russian class, and then cargo, we go for the gondola. We'll go for... I'm going to go for this gondola. No, we'll go for the slightly longer one. It's still the same weight. And how expensive would it be right now to carry 49? It's going to cost me 1.6 million. Right. Okay. Let me buy this. And let me pull it on that line. So for the first time right now, which I'm technically... Am I technically in the Netherlands? Or am I in Germany? I think I might be in Germany. I'm not too sure where I am right now. Yeah, I think I'm in Germany. So for the first time ever, guys, welcome to Transport Fever 2 Netherlands Edition, where I'm building a line in Germany. Right, there we go. Train is now coming out the depot. Grain is now being placed on the platform, ready to be picked up. But more importantly, grain is also being placed over here as well. So if we have a little bit of a fast forward then, my main goal, like I said first, is to make sure we are making a profit. Now, this train can only carry 49 for its maximum capacity. And already, it's filled to the brim. So this first journey it does is going to be the most amount of money it can currently make on this line. So this is now going to skedaddle out of here, boys. We've got it set up where they drive on the left-hand side of the train tracks. That's fine by me. It's fine by me, boys. And off we go. So we've just got to wait for this train right now to get up to its top speed, which the carriages can go faster than the engine. So in this reality, we capped at the engine speed of 45 kilometers an hour. So that is now going to hurtle down through this little mini forest, boys. Not quite at its top speed just yet, but we're going to see how much it can make. Ideally, if we can get a second train on this line, then we can just leave it to grind money in the background for us while we start a big transportation company in the Netherlands. It's weird how our origins are going to be from German ancestry. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Right, that's just made 383,000 big ones. So it's made more money than expenses to get here. Now it's fully loaded and on the way back. So it costs us about 1.6 million for this train. And we need to get about 1.6 million again so I can buy a second train. Or alternatively, I can just make this train bigger, but I think a second train would be handy because it increases the rate of deliveries and the rate in which I make money. So I'm more likely to always have cash on me when I want to buy and do something. So this is quite a simple run. Now, I could have made this longer to make more money, but that's something that we can eventually do in the future. Right, I'm going to wait for this to now drop off. Where is the train right now? I'm going to wait for this to now drop off. Get enough cash that I've got over 1.6 million in the bank to buy a second train. And then we'll start our expansions in the actual Netherlands. So now the game's in play mode, some of the towns would now start growing. There's Amsterdam. Amsterdam is now starting to grow a little bit more. Haarlem is no longer the biggest city in the game. Antwerp is. So Antwerp, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. There we go, dropping off there. I've got enough cash right now where I can then clone a second train. So that does put me quite close to the fact that I've got now no money in the bank, but that's okay because we'll just allow them two trains to now grind it off in the distance. Right, so I am feeling like I want to start in this area when it comes to beginning my, my Dutch transportation company. And I think we've got to focus it around Amsterdam, right? The capital of the Netherlands. And make this our home base and the city that we're truly trying to grow. And all roads lead to Amsterdam is the best way to put it, right? So Amsterdam does require food and it does require construction materials. Now, as of right now, there is a food plant just here, which is good. There's also one just over there, but I think we'll focus on this one because there's multiple food sources around it. And when it comes to construction materials, where is the closest one? Let's see. There's got to be one nearby, right? There has to be one nearby. Is there one nearby? Normally if you find... Oh, there we go. There's one there. So where's the stone for this? Oh, down here. Okay, it's a little bit out of the way for us at the minute, but I think we have to kind of maybe focus on bringing a greater transportation network over. Maybe we could utilize the rivers. I mean, we can, if they're not wide enough, we can maybe make them wide enough, then kind of start sailing the goods in. That could be interesting. That could be an interesting kind of turn of events. So I think then we'll focus on the food. Now, to begin with, we'll start feeding it very slowly and we'll give it some food and we'll do it via vehicles. Now, are the vehicles going to be too far away is my first question. I'm not sure. But there's a few cities around here in general that do require food, so this might be a really, really good way to kind of start. So, buildings for this, we're going to get our truck stop. And this is going to be quite expensive if I kind of built it like that. So I don't think we need as many. Do I go 2 platforms instead of the magical 3? No, we'll just go 1 and 1. And we'll just extend it and edit it as our needs slightly change. So roads then, one thing I've got to remember to do is keep the player ownership off. And do I make them go through the Harmelin or the Warden town? Or do I just create a complete bypassing road? If I kind of built a road... What's the speed limits of these, by the way? Right, that road there is slightly faster. Not to say that my horse and carts will be able to kind of drive that speed. But if I build the road on the back end of it, and if we first start with a bend, so if I come off this with a bend just there, then we run straight. And how far do I take this straight before we turn in? I could maybe utilize this road here. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. But I could bring this into there. That runs to there kind of straight-ish and bends in. Maybe take this back a bit. I'm trying to get this to first go straight and then bend, so it kind of looks like it's all a little bit of a natural road. To where this... So there's a simple turn just there. So that road will lead to here. I could start with that. That could be like the simple one. And then I've got two other kind of farms that I could lead on and connect to it. So building-wise, we only need one platform on this. So I've got one to pick up there, got one to drop off, another one to pick up and deliver somewhere else. So I could actually start feeding here, but I do like the idea of being able to feed Amsterdam to begin with, but I'm not sure how that's going to play out for me. So if I do a new line and go from there to there and get them to utilize all the platforms on this stop. So if one's free, one's available, we can use that rather than have to wait for a vehicle in front of us. Change the color of grain as well. And we're going to call this our Woden. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. Grain line. There we go. Got to make sure that we keep naming the lines, guys. We've got to keep sure we keep naming them. And I will now grab a road depot. Oh, there we go. There we go, boys. I'm just going to build it right. Oh, where do I build it? I could actually build it in the middle. For when we get our additional lines in. And cargo, this is all we have available. Now, there's no difference in these in terms of speed, power, capacity. The only difference is emissions and weight. So if we go for the Asian horse-drawn carts, these are actually cheaper on weight. So theoretically, they should be able to kind of get to their speed a bit quicker, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to kind of play out. But I'm going to buy 5. 5 for 119,000. And put that on our grain line just there. So we'll now start getting grain there, which is great. And we'll then start delivering to the food processing plant. But I'll be real with you guys. Does it feel like it's a bit too far away, Amsterdam, for horse and carts? I feel like on one hand it slightly is, but on another hand, no. No. So, should we now kind of take a look at trying to build a long road leading over there? Or do I save Amsterdam from future growth until I can start building train stuff? Maybe I could just feed this little town here next to us. Maybe that little town over there. Maybe I could set it up where we've got a lines going to all 3 of them and just, you know, start making money. Right, they're now picking up grain, which is good to see. I'm going to start delivering it. So we've got to make our next decision. Right, let's deliver to the 3 towns. I've made my executive decision. We need a truck unload stop. I'm going to put one just there in this town. We'll do one just over here for this town. And then for Amsterdam, I'll do and place this one just here. Okay. Now I just got to build roads leading over there. So make sure my ownership is turned off. We'll start by making this be a continuous straight road until it does take place and bend and leads in. Now, by me doing that, it also then means I've now connected up these two towns, and private transport will now travel between the two towns. So all of a sudden, if it's got now 100 destinations, like a town like this has got... Okay, that's also got some as well. But this will now have a lot more as the two towns are now connected. Now, we're going to pick a road over here to work with as well, which I might just pick this road as the connection. And run this first going straight. And then we've got the option. I can either bring it into here, I could bring it into there, or I could bring it and bend it in as the main road there. How would this work? Would a diagonal work? What's this like on a bend like this? Because ultimately, all I'm utilizing it for is the ability to bring my cargo down. But I can see a world where they're going to want to turn this way. And this now doesn't kind of lead itself very well, does it? I could maybe build a road like this, which will then kind of, in a weird way, be the turning point to go this way and that way. I mean, I'm not trying to build infrastructure. I'm just building for my company at this moment. So anything else that I've done for them is just considered a bonus at this point. So I've got my road set up. Is anybody... Oh, yes. Okay, so the public are using my roads, but then again, I don't own the roads, so they're technically not my roads. But the public are using the roads that I built. What about going towards Amsterdam or coming from? Yes. So if there's people utilizing those roads, there is a way in which I could maybe bring in buses, which I don't have buses yet because we're not in that era. We're not in that era. But let's put it into play mode for a second because we are jumping ahead a little bit too quick for my liking at the moment. And let's start building these brand new lines. So from here to Leiden, if that's how you pronounce it, we call this our Leiden food line. Let me just copy that because we're going to have to place a couple of these down. And let's make this a slightly darker variant of the grain line. Not much more, but we can kind of tell that is a food line. And get it to be able to utilize both platforms just to make life a little bit easier. Another new line from here to here. And then we'll rename this right now. Is it Rowerden? Rowerden? Is that how you pronounce? I'm not sure how I pronounce these. I do. If you do live in this town, I do apologise. I can't even pronounce English town names, so I've got no hope doing Dutch town names. And then all the way to Amsterdam. So I can pronounce Amsterdam. I think everyone can. It's the capital, boys. Amsterdam food line, and obviously change this to the colour as well. So we've got those all now set up, which would mean that I would need more vehicles on this food line here because now it's going to start producing and it will then start demanding more. So I think on this line here, we're going to duplicate. Do I have enough to be able to afford to do? Yes, I've got 2.3 million. We're going to put 10 vehicles on that line. Right, that's my first setup right there. 10 vehicles. Right, now we're going to buy, and because the distance to these cities is quite big, I think we can kind of get away with having 5 vehicles on each. So if I duplicate, put the first 5 on the Amsterdam food line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Leiden food line, and then this on the Woerden food line. I can't even pronounce it. 5 on that one might be a bit of a push. but we'll see how it goes. Right, that's a lot of vehicles I now own, okay? My road expenses are going to be heavily negative, okay? Very, very heavily negative. Right, I think we're going to manage this. We're going to manage 2 of these vehicles, and because Amsterdam is the furthest one... No. Yes, Amsterdam is the furthest one. We'll put 2 of them from that line onto the Amsterdam line. That makes sense. Oh, wait, they're already on the Amsterdam line. I'm looking at the wrong ones, aren't I? Wait, did I do it? Did that do what I wanted it to do? There we go. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think I figured it out in the end. Right, this is going to really overload this now with all these horse and carts now coming in. But eventually they will be spread out, right? They will eventually be spread out, so they won't be coming in as often as they are right now. This is now going to start producing food, but not at the quantities that I expect it to. Not until we've got more deliveries coming in. But again, with it all being spaced out eventually, we're hoping it's going to be okay. Now, I could configure this to add a second and third... No, say second and third. A third and fourth section here. Even though we've just got through that as quick as we've just did. But the Amsterdam food right now, if I manage these lines and say to them in here, you can utilize all 4. This food line, do the same. This food line, do the same. And then the grain line that comes from here, be able to do the same as well. There's a few more options for them. There we go. Right, fingers crossed this now all goes to plan. And that's all we can hope for and all we can ask for now. Is this all goes to plan. So we'll have to give it some time just to kind of see if eventually it does make a profit. See what line doesn't and where we have to adjust to the point where they're all making profit. But we've got 3 towns right now all being fed with food. Got a nice little grain line on the go. And over in Germany, which I think this is Germany, guys. I've got 2 trains now going back and forth, which I do have enough money to add a third. Now, how well is this line doing? Oh, it's doing absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing right now. We're going to add a third train. Now, I won't add a 4th one on. What I'll eventually start doing is upgrading the size of the capacity of the trains to be able to carry more stuff. So where's Amsterdam over here then? These are on the way to Amsterdam for the first time. I don't think there's anything in there. That's doing 18. This horse and cart is right behind me right now, telling me to speed up in many ways. Can I not see the speed of what you're going? No? But that's it. There's nothing else I can do at this point. There's nothing else I can do at this point to kind of have that make more... or be quicker. Right, so is the 10 enough at this point? I don't think it's going to be enough. We might need to add an additional 5. Now that sounds wild when you think of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But just to increase the rate of deliveries is going to be quite important. So I've got 15 horse and carts on that line, which is crazy, isn't it? It really is to kind of think of that. It really is. Holy moly. So that's all I can do at this point. It's all I can do. Now, we've still got a bit of cash in the bank. I'm wondering if I can now look towards editing some of these trains. I know we've only just kind of bought a train. But to add or to edit each one and add an extra gondola is 200,000. So if I add an extra 2 to each one, that will cost me 1.2 million, which is money right now that I do not have. So if I fast forward then, hoping the next train, wherever it may be, where is the next train on the way back in? Okay, it's just there on the way back. Gets there in time, delivers, gives me enough money that I can maybe then look towards adding an extra 2 carriages to each one of these trains. Right. I'm stuck on the waiting screen for just a moment. How far away is that train, by the way? Oh, it's just there. Okay, it's actually not that far. It's just behind me here. That train's also on the way over. So wait for it to pop out just here. There we go. That's about to now come in. I can then upgrade all 3 trains at once. We're laughing all the way to the bank as it can then all make more money. Or at least I think it's going to make more money anyway. Right, delivery about to come in. Any minute now. There we go. We can now do the upgrade. Bam. So, oh, I just missed out there on that being able to fill the other 2 carriages. I bet you have missed out on this one as well, haven't I? Yes. But this one I won't miss out on. That one can definitely do it. Right, big upgrades coming in. Very, very happy with that already. Very, 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 very happy with that already. So there's some cargo on the line waiting for Amsterdam right now. This is, you know, trying to produce every time it drops off the goods it produces. It requires 2 grain for 1 food. So we keep on waiting, baby. Keep on waiting. And that's all we can do is just kind of let it take its time. Let it take its sweet time right now. So in the meantime then, are these towns now growing? They're having a little bit of a growth. Are you growing much right now? I mean, it hasn't really had any food enough to warrant a 10% growth boost just yet. But what about Amsterdam? Amsterdam itself is... Oh, it's skyrocketing. Right, let me check the towns right now. Okay. Right, Amsterdam has now become the biggest town already in the game. I haven't even done anything to it. Then again, it does have a 10% boost already. So that might have contributed towards it without me doing anything. But also connecting up these towns to roads, which gives them private transportation connections, then also gives it a boost. As you can see, it's got 30% plus already. And that'll be mainly down to the fact that I've connected it up via roads. So that also helps as well. That really does. Right, so let it tick along in the background right now. So I'm kind of curious to know how much we get for a train now dropping off with 63. We've seen it with 49, which is like 300 and something thousand. Now let's see it with 63 on board. Let's see what we get out of this. So in it comes. Wow, 500,000. That's real good. Okay, that's real good, boys. That is real good right now. Nice. Okay. So, here's my question to you guys watching right now. Obviously, we need to keep making sweet, sweet money, and we need to keep growing. But when I eventually come down to start thinking about doing public transportation, where do you think I should run my first line from Amsterdam? Where do you think I should be heading? What cities should I focus on connecting first? And what industries should we also think about starting to build? It's going to be quite exciting, this series. Quite exciting. So, trains still do be loading. I could maybe eventually think about adding a 4th train on here. I mean, as long as we got the goods on the platform, we'll just keep on adding. And maybe eventually setting up some form of an oil run would be a good idea as well. That would be a fantastic idea, doing oil runs, because that's where the real money is, isn't it? That is going to be where the real money is. So, shall we take a look then at maybe setting up some bus runs? That could be a simple way in which we can think about growing these couple of towns right now. Because we have these towns hooked up, I think it makes sense to kind of connect them to begin with. Now, this is where it does get a little bit tricky, where we do a bus and tram stop. I could do 2 platforms. Don't want any tram tracks because we don't have any trams just yet. And if I was to implement it, see, this is where it does start to get a little bit difficult now. Is trying to figure out the best places to put this stuff. So I could do it here, which kind of gives us the maximum coverage. So if I dropped one just there for you. Now, this is all stuff that eventually, right, we will delete and replace it with like a train line system. But this is just keeping things very basic and very simple to begin with. Right, where do I throw you in? Because I want to give us ourselves maximum coverage. But you're never going to get it perfect is what I'm also trying to say as well. So if I create a new line and go from these 2 towns here. And this will be our Leiden to Warden. I'm going to call it Warden. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And just name it that. And if I keep the color, if I make the color pink, I always know pink are public transportation lines. So another new line from there to there. So I'll do 3 individual lines going to each of these 3 towns. Okay. Amsterdam to Warden. And obviously make this pink. Another new line. Have I got it to stop at the right place? I've got it to stop at the wrong place. I'm going to have to come back and just slightly adjust that, aren't I? Make that pink as well. And this is obviously going to Leiden. Leiden or Leiden? I don't know. So where does this go? To there. Add that to go to there. So get them to utilize both platforms on each one. Just makes the loading and unloading a little bit easier. And I'm able to now buy my vehicles for this. So when it comes to this then, passenger, it's still horse and cart. I've got the horse-drawn carriage, the stagecoach, coach, or the troika. Right, that is a smaller capacity. But it does have the most power. This one, the stagecoach has more power than the horse-drawn carriage. So we are going to buy 4 for each line. So duplicate you, duplicate you. Oh, not enough money. I didn't realize how expensive this was going to be. So Amsterdam to Leiden. And then Amsterdam to Warden. How expensive are those stagecoaches? Wait, hold on. They're 95,000. I think I was just in between paychecks, weren't I? I think I was just in between paychecks. Right. That's now got 4 in each one. I do this and I realize then I don't think I need 4 to go back and forth. Oh no, it's different now, isn't it? It's 4 going back and forth there versus going back and forth there and there and there. I was thinking it's going to the cargo depot thing there. Right, stagecoaches are now on the go. So we got a little bit of public transport. So we know we have demand because there's private transportation going back and forth in general anyway. I might as well capitalize on that and become a taxi service almost, or a bus service in many ways. So I own quite a fair few amount of vehicles right now, and it's only now that my road network has started to make a profit. But I assume it's going to make a lot less money now I've got more vehicles on the scene. So we're starting to get passengers now waiting, and I think it's a very humble beginning. I think it's a very humble beginning, very humble starts right now. And how are we looking over here? Right, is this line still looking good? Still very healthy on the profit. That's paying for everything right now. All my expansions. $1 million in the bank, boys. I'll probably end up getting like a 4th train at some point as well. Right. Do we have people waiting over here? So this is important to have these little connections as well. There is starting to be a fair few people now waiting over here, which is good to see. And we are going to make more money. I'm liking it. Just got to be careful not to cause too many traffic jams on the road. That's going to be my only issue. I could probably make a shortcut route leading all the way to over there, but let's just leave it as it is for now. There's no need to do anything too crazy. No need to do anything too crazy yet, Seniac. Please calm down. But Tri-City setup right now, that's pretty good. So, what lines are losing money? Theoretically, it should only really be my passenger lines. But the Warden Food line here is losing cash. It might be a sense that 3 vehicles on this is a bit too much. So, I'll put one of them on the Amsterdam line. Just because it is the furthest one that they have to travel on. It'll increase the frequency a little bit, reduce the expenses on this line. But is it a case of I just need more food being delivered over here? I've got to be careful that I'm not overloading the road and causing a traffic jam. That's going to be my next issue. I think we're okay though, but that will be my next issue. Right, this line, it makes money. So I reckon I can add another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles on it. At some point, we'll have higher capacity vehicles and we can then start using them. But until then, that's just kind of the life I have to lead. Right, where is... I'm lost right now. Where am I? Here I am. Can I get another train? Yes. I've now got 4 trains on this line. Or I'm about to have 4 trains on this line. Wait for this one to now come out. And that then should load up and choo-choo out of here. Off it goes, boys. Off it goes. So we've got new engines now available, which would really help us out in terms of expanding the train ability to reach to and from, pull more cargo, all that good stuff. But engines are expensive to replace, so there's nothing wrong with the ones that I've currently got. My mass vehicle network is looking kind of interesting at the same time as well. But how's Amsterdam looking these days? Charts are still growing. We've got now private transportation connections. So these little towns that I've now begin with, they should start increasing pretty rapidly. Now they've got all these new percentage boosts and bonuses. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's keep it going. Right, lots of people want to get to Amsterdam right now. We've got to play around with this stuff and eventually see what makes the most sense. But just let it do what it's got to do. Let it do what it's got to do, boys. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicles on the Amsterdam food line. It does make money when it makes money. But it's got to hold out a little bit for more food to be delivered. Now, do you reckon it is an idea or a good idea to maybe extend this so they can load and unload at 2 platforms at once? Because if we keep adding more vehicles to it, it's going to get a little bit overloaded. There we go. So fasty forwardy. If there's one vehicle there waiting, the next vehicle will use the next platform. But they pretty much come in really quick anyway. So I don't think there's any issues there. It's just eventually. I'm just kind of thinking ahead slightly. Slightly thinking ahead. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. I think it's a nice simple start. It's a simple start, but we still need a lot more money. Yeah, we still need a lot more money right now. So, oh, I'm editing cash here. My rail line is making cash. My road line is making cash. I need to pay off my loan as quick as I can. That will save me 50 grand a year in interest. And yeah, the last 2 years, I've actually made a little bit of a profit, but it's all down to the rail line. The road line is currently losing money. So we'll have to keep seeing how things go there. So we're going to end it here, guys. I think we've got ourselves set up in a nice little system where we're growing a couple of towns, but more importantly, we're making money. That money can be used to keep reinvesting into the company for it to make even more money. And before you know it, it just snowballs into being able to start building large infrastructure and really connecting up the Netherlands. Guys, if you're excited for my Dutch transportation company, then make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.